picking out the perfect pair of headphones can be a pretty challenging task. I mean, look at all the options available. Circumaural, supraaural, closed, open. How do you know which type is right for you? Well, this new company called AIAIAI has come up with a solution. Modular headphones. Now, if you're not sure what any of those terms that I just said meant, then it's okay. We've done a video in the past explaining all of them that you can watch right here. But even after watching it, you still have to decide on one specific configuration, and that can be challenging. Maybe you feel like a neutral sounding monitor today, but tomorrow you're in the mood for some super bassy dubstep. This is where AIAIAI comes in. While they're a relatively new brand, they worked closely with a lot of DJs and artists worldwide to create the TMA-2 modular headphones. When you buy the TMA-2, you get to pick the headband, drivers, earpads, and cable. There are a bunch of choices for each component, so we better talk about each one and what effects they have, or what are we even doing here, guys? First up, the headband. This is pretty simple and obviously doesn't affect the sound. You have three choices: a super lightweight and thinly padded one for when you're on the go, a slightly sturdier one with thicker foam padding for all-purpose usage, and finally a heavy-duty one with the most padding for longer listening sessions. They each come with the wire built into the headband and have locking 3.5mm connectors. Unfortunately, there aren't any foldable headphones available just yet. Now the next one is slightly more complicated. The drivers or speaker units will have the biggest impact on the sound signature. There are 4 to choose from, and while they are all 40mm in size, they utilize quite different technologies. The first is a simple PET mylar diaphragm, which offers a very balanced sound signature. Highs, mids, and lows are all equal and designed to give you the closest representation of the original sound, which is usually what I like having personally. The next two options are both titanium-coated drivers, which increase the bass. One has a vented bass chamber, which increases the bass a lot, while the other is fully closed and just bumps up the bass a little bit. A vented bass chamber offers boomier bass, great for things like explosions, while a sealed driver offers more punchy bass that's sometimes preferable for listening to music. Finally, the fourth option is a neodymium magnet driver that features a V-shaped sound signature. That means a good amount of bass and bright, sharp-sounding treble, while the mids are kind of low down there. This is the most common type of sound that you'll find in headphones, and it's great for pretty much every type of listening, from games to movies to music. Now, all of the drivers are made with injected molded ABS plastic and feature locking plugs on both ends. To attach it, the headband simply slides right in. No locks, screws, or anything fiddly, it just goes in there. Next up, earpads. These will have a large effect on the soundstage of your headphones. There are 7 different choices here, so we'll split it up into 2 categories: size and material. Smaller sized ear cups will sit on top of your ear, which is known as supraaural. Large sized ear cups will sit completely around your ears, which is known as circumaural. Supraaural ear pads are more portable, but offer less isolation and a smaller soundstage. That means a lot of the sound you hear feels like it's coming from the center of your head and from directly in front of you. Circumaural ear pads offer more isolation from outside noise and a much wider soundstage. That means it feels like the sound is coming from all around you. The only downside is that they're less practical for wearing outdoors, since they're usually more bulky. They're also a bit hotter since there's less airflow going over your ears, but they're more comfortable over longer periods of time because the pressure of the headphones rests against your skull instead of your ears, and this is why I usually wear over-ear headphones, circumaural, because I much prefer that. Next choice you have to make for your modular headphones: the earpad material. You get to choose the outer material as well as the inner foam, both of which can have an effect on sound as well. In order from lightest and thinnest to heaviest and thickest outer materials, you can choose between microfiber, velour, PU leather, and leatherette. Ooh. Now, a thinner material will give you more breathability, less isolation, and a wider soundstage. You also get a brighter sound signature with more treble and less bass. But the thicker and heavier the material, the less breathable it is, the more isolation you get, and the smaller the soundstage. So you actually get less treble, but more mid-range and more bass with the thicker material. The inner padding is much simpler, with just a choice between regular foam and memory foam. You'll find regular foam in all of these supraaural earpads and memory foam in all of these circumaural earpads. This doesn't affect sound much, mostly just the comfort on your ears. Each of the earpads on the TMA-2 simply snap on and off with little plastic pegs. They're entirely self-contained and very easy to put on and take off, no screws involved or anything, so that's nice. They're not like traditional earpads that require you to awkwardly stretch them over the plastic frame. And last up is the cable. Unlike what some audiophiles claim, these won't affect the sound. They're all single-sided cables that let you choose between the length, material, and features. There are short ones, long ones, plastic ones, sleeved ones, coiled ones, and even one with a 4-pole cable with microphone and smartphone controls. Oh yeah, and there's also different colors too. All of the 3-pole ones come with a screw-on 1/4-inch adapter, and like everything else, the cable also locks into the headphone. Now I know that was a lot of information to digest. I'm sorry. There are a lot of different parts that can all affect the sound in one way or another, which is a bit overwhelming for a lot of people. Luckily, AIAIAI does come with a few presets, so you have a starting point on how to configure your headphones. After listening to basically every iteration of all the parts AIAIAI sent us, the following was our favorite configuration. The heavy H03 headband, the SO1 PET speaker, the large EO5 microfiber ear cups, and the CO4 coiled nylon sleeved cable. It's comfortable, offers a large sound stage, and gave a very neutral sound signature that worked for any genre of music. And it's also the first time we've seen a headphone with a coiled and sleeved cable, something Anthony wishes more headphones offered. Overall, the AIAIAI TMA-2s are a very interesting concept. Each of the parts range from $30 to $60, and a complete set will cost around $200 on average. Now that may sound like a lot, but it's much cheaper to buy additional parts that you can swap out instead of buying an entirely new pair of headphones when you think it needs replacing. The build quality is very good as well. All of the parts feel very solid and have a smooth rubberized matte finish. It does unfortunately show fingerprints and oils from your skin though, so keep that in mind. If you, good sir or madam, are interested in a pair of TMA-2s or you want to learn more about how each of the different parts affect sound, click here or the link in the description to head to AIAIAI's site. There's a very detailed configurator that even includes a frequency response graph of all your changes, so you know exactly how the headphones will sound once they're all built and put together. And even if you don't think these are the headphones for you, then I hope you at least learned a new fact or two about how even minor details in headphones can have a large effect on the sound. Thanks for watching, guys. You can check out our previous videos over here, our tweeters over here. Comment below if you want to talk about what you've seen today, or also to enter fans with benefits. And like and subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX if that tickles your fancy. AIAIAI. You know what that brand reminds me of?
I am your butterfly. Do you need your protection? Be my samurai.
Leave a comment below if you know what that's from. I didn't sing it properly.